Yo, hello everyone. I hope you guys are all doing really good. So it is early in the morning for me right now, and it looks like some information dropped as I was actually waking up and making some breakfast for the game. So we have actually some pretty cool news. So it looks like they actually dropped it looks like some type of apology, or I guess you can say like a statement over the game. And I kind of want to go over that with you guys because it's going to be a lot of stuff. So I'm going to leave the link to the translation, which was actually posted on Reddit, so you guys can take a look at everything because it is a lot of information. However, I just want to focus on certain key things that they talked about, and then also give you guys my opinion based on the game as of right now. And yeah, so let's go ahead and do that. All right, so this is actually the post that they posted on the Bleach Soul Resonance subreddit. And as you can see, they actually posted it on, I believe, on their Bilibili account. Is in Chinese, but it was translated, so we'll go ahead and take a look at that right now. So the first thing I want to talk about, it looks like they're actually looking into, okay, based on what I read, it looks like it's a buff for Ichigo, but let me read that to you guys and you guys can make your own conclusions based on that. So the first thing here they're going to say is that they received a substantial amount of feedback across the various dimensions regarding the 1000-Year Blood War Ichigo. So it's like a collaboration with 1000-Year Blood War. Just in case you guys don't know, I believe after the fourth character comes out, we're actually going to go back to the Ivankar line back in the main storyline. But that being said, including the character production, balancing interventions, and imprint crafting, we have thoroughly reflected on all of these categories and optimized directions. So first and foremost, the development team extends our most sincere apologies and deepest reflections to all players of the Bleach Soul Resonance. Facing these wide-ranging issues, we must carefully consider and evaluate what is currently in production and what will soon be presented to the players before making this official response. As a part of our comprehensive review, we will intervene, rework, and optimize several of these issues. Specific details will be announced via in-game mail. So this is where they actually start talking about, it looks like Ichigo's weapon engravement. So it says it feels insufficient. We will add an effect to his exclusive weapon engraving that increases the upper limit of rupture stacks, along with measuring such as boosting the damage multiplier of the follow-up attacks after casting a comeback scale, thereby raising his overall power level. Please refer this to the update mail for specific changes. Now, one of the things that they definitely don't specify here is like when we're looking to get these updates. However, based on their track record that they've done when it comes to buffing characters, it usually takes like a few days. So I wouldn't be surprised if like this change comes in hopefully sometime before Friday, or who knows, maybe they might even push it until Monday, because we tend to get them on Mondays actually, now that I think about it. But yeah, we will see about that. Now, in regards to this, it just looks like he's gonna get a multiplier and make him basically just a little bit stronger. I will not lie, after doing some testing and understanding how the thrust team works right now, I feel like if anything, more of the issue is actually Neliel instead of Ichigo. Ichigo is actually a very strong character, so I'm actually very surprised that they're buffing his weapon for more damage. So that's gonna be a little bit scary to see how strong it is, but nevertheless, I think no one can really complain when it comes to buffing a character overall, so that is a pretty cool thing. So this right here is basically kind of like a quality of life change they want to do on him, because it looks like they were having some awkward operations with target locking, and they're basically just saying like, we apologize, we're focusing on like optimizing a character, and then just to make it feel a little bit more fluent based on what I've read from this. Obviously, you guys will have the link, so you can definitely take a read at all of this information yourselves if you would like. Now, this is actually one very important thing that I really like, to be honest. So here they're talking about, I don't know why it says regarding strike attribute. I don't understand, but they're basically talking about Mayuri. So they said the randomness of Mayuri's technique is currently undergoing adjustment for balancing some mechanics because this system is not yet fully mature. Custom characters adjustments must be handled cautiously. Please stay tuned to feature announcement. So basically what it sounds like is that they're trying to make, I'm going to assume just his technique. Supposedly his technique is meant to be like a 50% that he can give you the potion, 50% he can give you the explosion bombs. However, it doesn't feel like that. If anything, it feels like you always get the potion every single time, and you'll get the bombs very rarely. But I don't know, it seems that they're trying to maybe come up with something or change him so that it's not so RNG based when it comes to the technique of Mayuri. So I don't know, I mean, that's cool. That just means that if you are able to guarantee the bombs, you're going to have a higher chance of breaking bosses more frequently, basically, because that's what it does. The potion buffs you up, and the explosion bombs, all they do is that they reduce the spiritual pressure of the boss or enemy you're going against by a pretty good amount, especially if you have in B6. So that's going to be an interesting change and see how they actually implement that into the character. Now, when they talk about the strike team, because if you know, the strike team doesn't have a support at all, like strike team and slash team. Now, I know that we have Kisuke for the slash team, but let's be honest, Kisuke is a very outdated support character ever since BSR came out. He's been out. He was a great support in the beginning, but now we're at the point where Kisuke's performance is very lackluster and he doesn't do well compared to someone like Mayuri or even Zalaparo when he is in his correct team for the what is it called, the Spirit team. So they said that it's currently in development, and please keep an eye out in the coming updates. One of the things that I said to myself, I truly wish that the strike support, they would have made like a 5-star and SSR version of Nemu. I don't know. I thought she would have been like a amazing character for the strike team, especially like the one when she fights the hand in 1000-Year Blood War. But it looks like, I don't know, they're keeping it. They just said that keep an eye on upcoming updates. So I guess we'll just have to keep using Mayuri for the strike team until we get another support for that team. So, oh well. Now, this is probably my favorite quality of life change that they're actually talking about. So if you know, when it comes to getting your characters, for example, let's go to my Ichigo, right? So you need Nexuses to 30 a stamp, because the max you can do is a 30, but you'll have them at 25. And Nexuses, you can only get them by purchasing them. Where are they? Right here. So you can technically get, let me see, 30, 60, 70. You can get 70 Nexuses a week, but it's going to cost you probably around like $80 in the US. Probably a little bit more, but that's just a rough estimate. And if you're someone who's free to play, the only other way that you can technically get these type of Nexuses is by doing these events right here. So depending on where you place, you'll get a certain amount, and you need 10 per stamp. Now, this is a little bit, I want to say, like biased when it comes to the actual Nexuses, because realistically speaking, only whales are going to be able to get 10, guaranteeing at least 20 per patch when it comes to these events. So they'll get 2 rerolls or 2 stamps to level 30 with these. If you're someone who's free to play, you might be somewhere in like the 50% to 30%, depending how good your skill is. That means that you're only going to be able to get probably like 1 reroll instead of 2, compared to, you know, like a whale who's getting top 3 all the time in their servers. Now, let's say that you do get, you know, your Nexus to level up your 30 stamp. Now comes the worst part about the game, in my opinion. Whether you're a whale, whether you're free to play, dolphin, whatever it is, rerolling in this game sucks. Okay, now you can technically re-roll into the passive that your character needs and spend like $80 or whatever it might be and still not get what you want, or still have a very crappy passive for your character. So for example, right, if you're playing someone like Aizen, increased battlefield skill is really good on him, or if you get a tactic 9, it's also really good. But look at all of these passives. So somehow out of all of these passes, if you end up in enhanced battlefield skill 2, or the regular battlefield skill 1, or the, what is the other one called? The overdrive for the, is it overdrive? Yeah, overdrive tactic is really good on him. And vigorous support is really good on him as well, but you have to kind of set up your support and tactic units a little bit differently so that you're able to buff your DPS pretty well. But that is crazy. You basically have to fight against RNG just to be able to get something good, so that your character can perform to its max potential that it can do. However, based on what they said in this quality of life change, it seems that they're actually planning on giving us a pity system. Okay, so it says, yeah, future versions will increase the number of attribute target stats available for rerolling, and a passive skill targeted refining function featuring a pity system and increase the drop rate slash quantity of engraving cores. Stay tuned. So I'm gonna assume engraving cores is actually the Nexuses that we have. They just probably, like, translation just calls it something kind of different, but that would be really nice. I've said this for a long time. I wish we had a type of game mode, you know, like, one of the things when this specific game mode dropped a while back, I actually thought that they were gonna keep this, like, or refresh it every, I don't know, every 2 weeks, right? Because we got Nexuses, we got was 3, is it 3 in all of them? Let me see, just make sure it is. So technically you got 21 Nexuses. I was like, okay, 21 Nexuses every 2 weeks plus the 30 that they give free. I'm like, that's 50. That technically means you can only get 5 stamps to level 50. I'm not sorry, level 30 if you're someone who is free to play. But nope, they brought this game event once and then they have never refreshed. The only thing that we get refreshed is for this one, which is, I mean, it's okay. You get a bunch of jades, which is pretty cool. But I feel like it would be really nice if you guys refresh this as well, so that people would be getting their Nexuses to level up their characters and actually play the game longer, instead of being stuck with a level 25 stamp for however long until they're managed to get 30 somehow. But that would really suck, I will admit. Now, there's just the last of things that I kind of want to touch about. So it says right here, a question, it says, suggestion to add more real-time gameplay options. They said, we want to offer more dynamic activities. We will launch real-time battle trial modes in large-scale raids and PvP modes. So I wonder what type of PvP they're actually talking about, but smooth out progression flows and increase the event frequency so players have goals and activities to enjoy. So this sounds nice. The PvP aspect sounds a little bit scary, but I think it could also be really fun. So we'll see exactly what they mean by that, if it's actually going to be like a battle arena or something, because it just sounds crazy to think about how you would be able to incorporate PvP in this game. But the last thing I definitely want to go over is going to be in regards to introducing Orihime and also Unohana to the game. So they're mostly talking about the healing red suit that's throughout most of Bleach. And they basically just said popular characters, including, you know, Unohana and Orihime is candidate for character production. Please wait for future versions previews. So I'm hoping that, you know, there have been some rumors going on about new typings and whatnot. I feel like the game is not ready for that just yet. If anything, you should focus heavily on already completing the teams before you even think about new typings. So I hope that they bring out a support both for Slash and another support for Strike. And then after that, you can start replacing, for example, Aizen can go. Aizen's been out in the game for like almost 7 months, or probably even a little bit longer, or however has been. And start replacing the old characters. Aizen, who's next? Gin technically got already power crept. He got taken out. The next one I believe would be like Kenny. So characters who are older are okay to be replaced, in my opinion. And then I really there's so many things that I have in my mind that I want to talk about too, but I'm gonna just leave it at that. The last thing I guess I'll just say real quick is that I also hope that they do some type of buffing when it comes to Nelliel. For the thrust team right now, like I said, it's a very strong team. I do like Nelliel, but she just feels a bit weak. I wish that they would do something with her, maybe her animations just being a little bit faster, or just some type to make Ichigo just be in the battlefield more frequent. Obviously, there's other options like releasing another tactic unit for the thrust team who works better with Ichigo, but who knows? Who knows exactly what they're going to do. But I've been yapping too much. I'll catch you guys next time, and let me know what you guys think about the death notes, or I guess statement or apology that they dropped. Yeah, I'll catch you guys next time. See ya.